and welcome to Your Hometown Solutions. I'm your host, Jean Newell with Waterview Realty. And thank you for joining us today, where experts meet to discuss your home, family, finances, garden, and garage. Boy, we covered all. We should add pets to that today, because in the studios with me today is the director of the Brevard, I was going to say Brevard County, but it's the Brevard Humane Society. Is that correct? And
yes.
We have Teresa Clifton. Thank you, Teresa, for joining us. We go way back. We were just discussing that years ago when I had a product that I invented. I donated them to the Humane Society because they're called the PUP, the Personal Utility Pouch, and it has a little paw on it, and it's a wearable bag that you wear around your waist and so forth. Comes in handy when you're walking the dogs. Little did I know I was going to do a commercial about my product. But the point was, we used to like to, when I donate or something, we'd challenge the other small businesses out there to get involved with the Humane Society. So what I would like you to start off with, Teresa Clifton, is let's go ahead and give out your contact information and the location of the Humane Society for Brevard County.
All righty. The Brevard Humane Society is located at 1020 Cox Road in Cocoa, and we've been there since 1952, so we are celebrating our 65th anniversary this year. Also, you can contact us by phone, which is 321-636-3343, or you can find us on the website at www.brevardhumanesociety.org.
Wow, that one site, that one location covers all 72 miles of Brevard County, correct?
Absolutely. Since the day we were incorporated in August of 1952, we have been serving the homeless animals in our community, from Mims to Grant, Valkyria, and everywhere in between, helping them find their homes when they're lost and finding new homes when they have none to begin with.
You know, there's a lot of misconceptions, and I'd like to clear that up today. What's the difference between the Humane Society and the Brevard County Animal Control?
Well, the biggest difference is that the Humane Society was created by the community, at that time in 1952, the circuit court judge, the city of Cocoa mayor, and all of the movers and shakers, which really were Orange Grove real estate and lumber mill owners. They were unfortunately, the Space Center didn't exist yet, and the port was just a little sleepy fishing village. So these were the movers and shakers of that time. So we were set up as a private nonprofit and left to our own doings to take care of the animals. And the county shelters came along later. As the population grew, the need for more help, came out, and so the county now spends about $4 million a year on the county shelter on O'Galley Boulevard. There's also one up on Flake Road, but I believe they have closed that. And the sheriff runs the county animal services now. They do a great job with getting the bad guys who are abusing animals. We love that. And they have cleaned up the county shelters a bit, but that is the biggest difference, that they are fully funded, and we start off with zero each year and have to work for it to get every penny to take care of the animals.
So that $4 million you're talking about goes to the actual Brevard County Animal Control, and you have to find grants and donations to do the Humane Society.
Absolutely.
So you see the trucks out there, those panel trucks with a little bit of airflow. That's when somebody reports, hey, there's a dog walking through my neighborhood. They call Animal Control. Animal Control comes out and picks them up and takes them to the animal control location, but they never really bring them to you, or do they in some cases?
No, they take them to the Brevard County Animal Services location on O'Galley Boulevard off of I-95 in Melbourne, and they are processed there or up in Titusville off Lake Road. And once they're processed, meaning that if they are lost, that no one claims them after 5 days, then we do try and help them by taking animals from them so that they aren't overburdened with too many animals in their location. So we do help them in that regard, but they don't bring animals to us. We take animals from them.
And I know you're a non-kill shelter. And
we are it's called a no-kill for space, technically, because we do euthanize animals that come to us that are physically hurting or terminally ill or mentally I'll say deranged or mentally unhappy, and there is no rescue group that could safely handle them. We don't believe animals should be kept in a cage until they die. So God gave us the ability to help animals not suffer. And I believe last year in 2016, our live release rate was 97%. So we are very happy about that. And I know also that the county shelters strive for that. So we try and help them in that regard by taking as many from them as we can.
Well, one thing we could point out right now is if you do have an animal, the best thing to do is get a collar for it and get a tag. Or if you haven't done that, how about a chip in the ear? You want to make sure if your animal does get out accidentally, whatever the reason is, someone has a way to find you and return your animal to you, because you don't want them to have to spend any time at I always call it the animal jail. Yeah. But that's the county one. Because, that's just not the way we should be doing this. So take the responsibility, pet owners, and get that pet chipped. By the way, do they check for, see if I can say this, do they check for chips when they bring in the animals?
Yes, actually, nowadays, microchips are pretty universal, as are the scanners. So if you find an animal and you bring it to our shelter or any shelter, they have a universal scanner that they will check for a microchip. And the microchip is no bigger than a grain of salt, a sand, and it can move around sometimes but it's just under a few layers of skin, and the animal doesn't even notice it. So most of the time when we check and we find one, we can call the owner right away and they can come and reclaim their pet right away. Unfortunately, with the collars and the tags, it seems like the minute that your cat or dog gets out, they take it off and throw it away because they say, well, my dog had a collar. And we're like, well, it came to us without one. But the microchip is in there. Permanent. Even after a pet passes away, it is permanently, you can still read it. So it is a permanent marker of your pet, especially if you have one of those highly desirable pets and somebody were to
confiscate it.
Yeah, I want to say steal, but that's not kind. So, yes, if they were to claim it for their own, this is the one sure way that you can identify it. And it's very inexpensive. If you bring your pet to our facility, we will microchip it for $25 and it's registered for life. You don't have to pay anything else or do anything else unless, of course, you change your contact number. And then they charge you a minimal fee to change that on the records. But it is a permanent way to know for sure that it's your pet and you don't have to do anything else to prove it. And someone else can't be taken off with your beloved pet.
I know, and you hear that all the time where someone has their pet went missing 10 years ago, and all of a sudden the pet they're calling them. Who knows how many hands it's gone through, and it's like 500, 1,000 miles away from home, and they take it to a vet, and the vet scans it, and they return it back to the. I was kind of laughing when you were talking about the universal scanner. I'm picturing people with their pets going to Publix. I'm going to scan my dog and see if it registers with the Publix scanner. But I don't think that would pick it up. But maybe
I don't know.
They've got all those new technology. I guess at some point in time we can aim our smartphone at the pet's ear and the chip will come up on our smartphone and we can read everything. Who knows? Well, that's kind of the information we'd like to get out there. Also, I think there's a misconception of what the National Humane Society does and what our local Humane Society does. Let's explore that as far as the differences.
Okay. I'll say the actual shelter environment is operated by a private nonprofit that has to come up with their funds all on their own, such as the Brevard Humane Society. We do have membership with the Humane Society of the United States. They really were created to be a legislative arm for animals. They speak for animals in front of legislatures, like a political action group, and they have improved the living conditions and the laws of animals that that are abused in prevention significantly over the years. They are about 55 or 6 years old now, so they're a little younger than we are. But the Humane Society of the United States does not have an animal shelter where they care for animals per se.
But they'll get involved with the puppy mills and so forth and closing those down and so forth. Or is there another government entity that does that?
Absolutely. They do what is now termed rescue work in regards to animals that are in strife conditions. They have to do it undercover because you have to prove the issue of what you're doing, because animals are property. It's not against the law to breed your cat or dog over and over and over again, but it is against the law to have them in such a tight little container that they can't stand up, move around, or that they're living in feces, or they're not being fed well, or they don't have clean water or a roof over their head. So the Humane Society of the United States does, on a national level, go after those that are in dogfighting rings, that are doing puppy mill work. Also, under natural disaster conditions, they go out and rescue animals and take them to a local animal shelter to take care of them.
Mm-hmm. I remember Oprah Winfrey had a show a few years back about puppy mills and so forth, and they brought in they're kind of like the police, or they're kind of
Yes,
coming undercover,
yes.
and some of these poor female dogs have been in a cage that they don't even know how, because the bottom is made out of like chicken wire or something, that they don't even know how to stand and walk. It's just a shame, and we're so pleased and happy to know that there's someone out there fighting for our critters. But locally here's what I was going to point out is we get touched by many of these commercials that you see on the various channels, especially at night. You're sitting there and you're all of a sudden they got the touched by an angel music or something. And it's like, I can't I've got to turn down the volume because I'll be crying and until it's over with. But they really touch your heart. But it's for donations for the Humane Society of the United States. Mm-hmm. And it's $15 a month or whatever, which is fine and dandy. But a lot of people don't realize that you do not get a penny out of that. So if they really want to help our animals here in our county, you want to donate to your local Humane Society. And give, while we're talking about that, where can they go to donate, Teresa?
Absolutely. If you really want to help an animal, you should keep it local, because the money that is donated to the Humane Society, about 92 cents out of every dollar directly benefits an animal in our shelter. And that can be done on our website, brevardhumanesociety.com or .org. And also, we have a Facebook page for Brevard Humane Society, or you could just come out and visit us at the shelter at 1020 Cox Road in Cocoa. We also have an adoption center on Merritt Island. It's 155 Pioneer Road, and we'd love to have people come out, even if they were dropping off, old blankets or towels or, a donation check. The animals always love to see people, and the more interaction they have with humans, the better pets they make for whoever does adopt them.
Exactly. Now, do you also still have volunteers that come out and walk the dogs during the day to get them a little socialized and so forth, that like you used to have?
Absolutely. We work, we have over 2,000 volunteer hours every month helping. The volunteers come out and walk the dogs, pet the cats. They clean, sweep, they greet people. Sometimes of the volunteers that are in our kennel know more about the animals than I do. They've spent so much time with them. We, of course, have to generate income on our own. So we definitely rely heavily on volunteers. We have a skeleton crew that